Hi guys, how's it going? Well, we are back on the River Thames, and this is a swim that I fished last summer. It's got a few snags in it, but the river, much to my surprise, is still higher than it should be. But having said that, I found a really nice slack bit of water, and I'll show you the swim in a minute, because I know there's some nice perch in here and some roach. So we won't be fishing as far out as we normally would, because it's going through quite fast. But this slack bit of water here is quite nice. Now here's the good news. We're here, you're here with me guys, and we're going to fish. The bad news is I've spoken to an angler that was just a few swims further down, been here since 8 o'clock, and hadn't had a single bite, not one bite. So the challenge is, can I get some bites and some fish? And this swim looks quite promising. Let me show you it, and then I've virtually got everything ready. The rod's up. We're going to start off on a maggot feeder, but I have brought some ground bait in case I want to change to a ground bait feeder. But instead of putting the ground bait in the feeder, I might just mix some ground bait up. And because we're not fishing far out, I'm going to possibly ball it in and lay a carpet of ground bait. But to begin with, we're going to start on the maggot feeder, just to see if we do get any bites or anything's around. If not, we'll get some ground bait mixed up and we'll ball a little bit out. We'll leave it for about 15 minutes and fish over the top of it. Got the usual tin of hemp with me. The wind's picked up a bit. It's not too bad in here. So I show you the swim. Get this straightened up. So there's the actual swim. So I think this swim is the one that I did feeder fishing on the Thames, and it was during the summer. But today it's overcast. The clouds are breaking up a bit, but overcast is what I do prefer, guys. If you're fishing a river that's a bit clear, and the good news is this water's not too clear, it's a bit murky, so I prefer that. But if it is a bit clear, try and just tackle down a little bit, depending what fish you're after. But today, other than the river being a little bit high, conditions to me look quite good. You know, it does look quite promising. And as I say, when the river's pushing through like this bit of slack water down here in front of us, and it's got a bit of depth to it, maybe about 4.5, 5 foot, which is fine, especially where the water's murky. So I'm going to catapult a few baits out roughly in the middle here, and because the water's slow, just let them drift down a little bit towards those branches. I mean, there are chub along here, and they definitely look fishy. So anyway, we're going to give it a go, and we've got there's no major rush or anything, so we've got the box and everything set up, we've got the rod set up, tin of hemp in there. I brought 4 pints of maggots today, thinking that I was probably just going to use the ground bait feeder. But as I say, sometimes you have to have a little think about changing your approach. When you get to the water will basically just read it like a book, and you'll get some idea of the situation, and you can adapt yourself to it. So yeah, so I'm going to sit down here a minute. I'll get the other cameras set up in a minute, and then we'll spend the day here together and see how we get on. So I've got my faithful,
come on, hurry up.
I've got the faithful Masterline John Wilson quiver tip, and I've got it's a £1 in the test curve rod. And for this slack water it'd be ideal. The only thing might have a problem with, because it's £6 hook length and £8 braid, if I do hook something larger and it gets me in the current, with this particular rod I might struggle a bit, because I thought the river was actually going to be a little bit lower. But hey ho, these things happen. Anyway, we're going to enjoy ourselves, and the challenge is to catch, well, at least one fish by the sounds of it. but let's see. So we're going to cast over towards those branches over there, not very far out. Got the rod rest set up. I've got a size 16 on. We use red maggots. I'm going to push that feeder up a little bit. It's a little bit too close to the hook, and let's see what happens. Right, first of all guys, let's get a few maggots out of there. Popped into my local tackle shop, and I'm going to show you that in another episode. Oh, it's nice. So I've taken the a day off work today to get this video done. I don't get so much time at the moment. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to fish towards those branches out there, see them? Just drop this down a little bit and you might be able to lift it up. So we're going to fish out towards those branches. Oh, the old sky's breaking up and the sun's out, clouds are out. Beautiful. Lovely day. It's very mild today, which is good, because this week we've had no frosts. So the water temperature should be up a little bit as well. But I'm still surprised that the water is still here. When it's normal level, you can sit down there and fish. But as I say, this little slack out of the main flow to me is where some of the fish hopefully will be holding out. But anyway, so we're going to catapult a few maggots out roughly in the middle of this slack, so when they can drop down slowly towards those branches and that. And let's go from there, shall we? So we get the old maggot feeder up. Don't want to flick them out too hard. Just a couple of little flicks to get them down there. A little bit of a flick to the left. Ooh. I think that needs to go a bit further out and a little bit closer. Yeah, that's better. Right, so it's 11 o'clock. Let's start fishing and see what happens, shall we? Be just my luck to get snagged up first cast. Oh no, don't say that. That's not good, is it? We don't want that. Let's get that feeder away from the hook. It's a bit too close. Don't mind the branches over the top of me. They're not too bad. So let's get this feeder up. Get these weights up a little bit. Oh, we got a boat coming through. That's nice. Lovely. Now, normally when I ground bait, I would ground bait between 6 and 7 times in fairly short succession to get a carpet down on the bottom. But as we're using maggots and we're fishing quite close in, I'll probably leave this out for a minute or so and have a little think. So I'm using a 16. I've got 3 reds on. I did buy a few whites as a mixture, but we'll see how this goes. As I say, I brought some hemp with me, guys, because there are some really nice roach in here. Some really nice roach. Let's get some bait in the feeder. Oh, and we are nearly on a branch. Got out of that. Gonna have to try and remember those. My memory only lasts about 10 seconds, so probably not going to happen. Anyway, let's get some maggots in this feeder and we'll see. We'll fish like this for a little while. If we don't get any bites, the thing is, it's not like fishing a small river and saying if you don't get any bites in one swim for 10-20 minutes we'll move on, which is what you would normally do in a small river. But with a big river like this, fish are moving all the time. so anything could turn up, like a snag or a log or a tree. That's not really where I wanted to go, but I'll just leave it there for a minute or so just to get the rod out, position the I think the rod rest is okay. The rod's up a little bit, but that doesn't matter. That's all right. I think we can handle that. Well, so far nothing apart from a great-crested grebe, but just now, literally just down there was a big fish. I didn't see it, but I just looked round and heard the splash and see the water erupt. But I have a feeling it was probably a pike, I would think. But I might be tempted to put the feeder down there anyway, just in case, because you never know. You know, it could have been a chub. I didn't see it, but it was quite a reasonable fish. But the way it splashed, I'm not sure. Could it be a chub? It does look very chubby down there, doesn't it? But my biggest issue is with all these branches, how far do they go under the water towards the bank? That's a bit worrying. But the fact there was a big fish down there, as I say, I just heard it splash, so something disturbed it. But what was it? Right, that's better. So while we're waiting for a fish to feed, a little bit of news for you. Next week I'll be applying for this new club. Just a little bit of recap. They've got part of the River Way, which has got some cracking chub in it. It's about 12-14 foot. It's quite a deep river. It's funny enough, many years ago, it's the only place I've ever caught a couple of grayling. They're not in there now, but that was a freezing cold day. And grayling they will feed even if the chub don't, even if it's too cold for the chub. But unfortunately, so they're not there now. So, but this club has got about 4 lakes, over 7 acres. So they're a reasonable sized water. One of them's got bream in it to 14 pounds. My biggest bream is 10 pounds 3 ounces. And I'd love to get another double figure bream. So we'll be able to fish those. I can't remember the names of the other 3 waters. We've got carps of 40 pounds, tench to 9 pounds. My biggest tench is 8 pounds. So yeah, and you can night fish them. Now, I haven't done any night fishing since 2003. So there's a good chance, guys, we will be doing some night fishing. That'll be good, won't it? We can have a nice old fry up, some sausages and while we're waiting for something big. We're looking at big fish this year, bigger fish. We've had a lot of fun last year and a lot of fun the year before. We'll be fishing in rivers. I do like the rivers. I've enjoyed fishing the ponds in White Club. Great fun. We've had loads of fish, but don't want to stay on those. Want to do something better, bigger. But at the moment, say we're here on the Thames. We're pretty close to Weybridge in Surrey. But I'm sure we should catch out this swim. I mean, this does look very, very fishy. Water does feel very cold, but the air temperature today, I think they said about 14 degrees today, which is actually quite mild. Got a bit of a breeze here, but it's not cold. It's a bit fresh, but it isn't cold. I'm just really enjoying it anyway. Being on the Thames with you guys is everything to me. It means so much. And it'd be even better if we do get one out. If you notice the summertime fishing on my other rivers on the Thames, we had 1 or 2 out, but the water was crystal clear, bright sunshine. It wasn't the best of conditions. This to me is really good condition, you know. You've got a hard flow out there, but this nice little bay here with this slack of water, to me, it just looks fishy. There's a big old cormorant just landed in front of me. Oh, was that a bite? Don't know. Maybe wishful thinking. Who cares for fishing? And I'm determined to get a fish out of this swim. Really determined. And I'm still optimistic. I'm sure we'll get something out of here. This is a boat trip. It takes you right round the island. You can, where I'm sitting now, that'll go down to the end, and it will turn left and go towards Walton Bridge. With the island I'm sitting on, you can go right the way around it on the river. I think I need to get that feeder down there. What was that fish? Was it a pike or a chub? Yeah, I think we need to explore, get that feeder down there. So I can see by the branch of this tree here, this one, I don't know how far under, this probably comes a long way under here, but I might be tempted just to put it down there. We'll give it a go because we have nothing to lose. Right guys, it's coming up to 12 o'clock. Haven't had any bites so far. So what we're going to do, we're going to mix up some ground bait. So I've got a silver roach ground bait made by Dynamite. I'm not going to go mad on it, but I'm going to put it out a little bit firmish. Oh, it's got a lovely smell to it. Not going to make up a huge amount, just enough to get something extra on the bottom there. And we'll mix it up with a little bit of bream. There are bream in the Thames all over the place, but to be honest, I'm not expecting really to catch them here. Bit of hemp. Can't go wrong with hemp, especially for roach. Thames has got some superb roach in it, and I know for a fact these swims along here have got roach. So I've got to be a bit careful here. We get a drop of water in there, not too much, just enough to mix it all up. That water's cold, gosh. Very cold. It's nice and see. It's nice and dark. It's just got basically hemp in there, maggots. A lot of the ground bait has got a little bit of feed in it. We don't want to use too much feed. You can use ground bait in the winter, but you want a low feed ground bait. Smells, it's got a lovely smell to it. Lovely smells. mixing up quite nicely. Let's see how it... Oh yeah, that's just right. That's just right. Yeah. Happy with that. Very happy. Yeah. And that's what you want. When you've got a bit of flowing water, you want it to go with a nice plop rather than a splodge. So that it gets down to the bottom quick and then starts breaking up. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. It's just got that right. Look at that. So that's, yeah, that's perfect, that ground bait. So I'll get that out there. Let that do its job. That's really nice. That's mixed up beautifully. You just add a little drop of water at a time, guys. Don't overdo it, otherwise it'll be sloppy and you won't ruin it, but you'd have to add more ground bait in it just to make it a bit firmer. Yeah, that's it. That's good. No more than that. A couple of balls, just to add some extra scent and interest. Hopefully, I'm not saying no bites so far, but it's early days yet. I've only, you know, only been here, what, not even an hour yet. But I thought, well, this won't do any harm. I'll leave some ground bait in there for later on. And the good thing about this box is, if you fish in a place, guys, where you've got dog walkers, you can just zip that up, and if they do come sniffing around it, they can't take it. So, a bit. That's all I want to fish. I don't really want to go much further than that. That's fine. Oh, there's a brave man, look. He's certainly going up against the flow there, that's for sure. Well guys, apart from a lovely day, early part of February, back on the Thames and a blank. I'm really surprised, to be honest, that we have blanked. Really surprised. But, you know, it's just the way it goes. Anyway, it's coming up to 3 o'clock, and by the time I move to another swim, it's dark at 5. I might just have a little wander down there quickly and see if there's another place we might be able to fish for maybe an hour or so, but it's not looking good. I mean, even the bait hasn't been touched, you know. So I'll have a look down there and we'll make a bit more of the video, maybe. But if not, just want to say, well, thanks for coming along anyway. And I hope you enjoyed that video, even though we didn't catch. And I hope you got a few tips out of it, if you're just, you know, wanting to start your feeder fishing. As I say, this swim normally produces fish, even in the winter, even when the river's up. But today, not today. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Press the old thumbs up for us, and subscribe to the channel if you want some new videos and watch some new stuff. There'll certainly be plenty to come, and I wish you all well. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you soon. Yeah, I don't think we'll mention catch, will we? Take care. All the best.